Hello, this is Hoopy Guilo at Hoopy Geeks. We continue on in part 2 from 1915 to 1920. So starting off in 1915, we have the film His New Job. This is a Charlie Chaplin film. This was his first film at Essanay Studios. Still making short films. This is 30 minutes long only. That's 30. And it's available on the BFI, British Film Institute's Charlie Chaplin, The Essanay Films, Volume 1. No special features listed on my little list, but I have given it a 4 out of 10. And I've written Chaplin's first Essanay film, standard silent comedy with Chaplin trying to find work as an actor. And this was directed by Charlie Chaplin. So he's obviously written it, and this is his take into getting a new job after leaving Keaton. And that's all I've really got to say about this one. The next film in my collection was released on the 8th of February 1915, and this film is The Birth of a Nation. And this is a very controversial film directed by D.W. Griffith, and it is considered a very racist film, popularising the Ku Klux Klan, which it did back in 1915. I bought this purely because of the other side of the coin, which is it's highly regarded as an important step in cinema history. Its use of cuts and edits in the film, and crossfades and other techniques were very much developed by D.W. Griffith for this film, and that's the reason why I bought the Blu-ray. It is 193 minutes long, and it is on the Masters of Cinema Blu-ray, the Region B Blu-ray, and I gave this film a 5 out of 10. My mini review says very long and quite tiresome to get through. For such an early film, it is well edited, not as racist as I expected it to be. Yeah, so my review's not quite accurate, but my rating of 5 out of 10 probably is. The DVD Blu-ray actually contains a 1930 introduction from D.W. Griffith and Walter Houston, and a 1993 making of. And these Masters of Cinema DVD releases get quite a decent book inside with a bit of the background of the film. Moving on, the next film is A Night Out with Charlie Chaplin. And this one stars Edna Purviance as well as Chaplin's leading lady. She will take a bit more prominence in his films, directed by Chaplin. It is a 34-minute film. This one is also on the Essanay Films Volume 1 DVD, and I gave this a massive 3 out of 10. I've put this down as quite a dull Chaplin comedy with nothing new or innovative to add to the genre. So he's not really... I'm not seeing him as a comedy master he's supposed to be. The next film is The Champion, also a Chaplin film, also with Edna Purviance. Don't remember this one. Chaplin directed it. 31 minutes from Essanay, also on Volume 1 of the Essanay collection, Charlie Chaplin. I've given this a 3 out of 10 as well, so I'm not liking his Essanay output at the moment. My mini review is some good physical comedy from Chaplin in a pretty poor silent comedy that doesn't break new ground apart from the dog, which upstages even Chaplin. Next film is In the Park, still in 1915, Charlie Chaplin starring. Charlie Chaplin directed it. It's 14 minutes, another 3 out of 10, much in the style of the Keystone comedies. Not good, but enjoyable if you haven't seen many comedies of the era. Moving on is A Jitney Elopement, 1915, Charlie Chaplin and Purviance, and this one's also appearing with Leo White, who appears to be in a few of his of Chaplin's Essanay films, directed by Chaplin. It's 27 minutes long, another Essanay film, and I've given this a 3 out of 10. No written remarks for this one. And the next one, 1915, is The Tramp. Chaplin appears in this one as the Tramp, obviously, with Edna Purviance, and Leo White returning again for another film. 26 minutes long. I've simply rated this 3 out of 10. There's no comments for this one. Next film is By the Sea, 1915. Again, there's Chaplin, Edna Purviance as the leading lady. Again, directed by Charles Chaplin. We're still on volume 1 at the moment. I've given this a 4 out of 10, so whatever's in this one is a little bit better than his other Essanay films, which have been pretty poor, actually. Next film is His Regeneration, and this was released apparently on the 7th of May 1915. I've given this a 4 out of 10 as well, and this one is present in volume 2, so this is volume 2 of the BFI's Charlie Chaplin The Essanay films. For some reason I've not written in more than just Chaplin as the cast. I've not even written in the director for this film, so that needs updating. Next film is simply called Work. 1915, Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Leo White again. This was directed by Chaplin, 28 minutes long. This is back on the volume 1 Essanay disc if you're watching them in chronological order. 4 out of 10. Because this is the last one on volume 1, I've put some special features. So there's a Chaplin Essanay essay and a photo gallery. There's usually a pretty good book though with the BFI releases, and my review for this is amusing and Chaplin is developing his style. Next film is A Woman, 1915, again Charlie Chaplin starring, and it is 26 minutes, and the next few are all on volume 2 of the Essanay Films collection. 3 out of 10, and I've not written a review for this one. Next film is The Bank, 1915, another Chaplin film. Again, nothing else written in, 25 minutes long, and I've not even rated this out of 10, which is disappointing. The next film is Shanghai, 1915. This is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Leo White again. This is 27 minutes long. And 3 out of 10. I've put standard silent comedy, sees Chaplin on a ship. A Night in the Show, 1915, Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Leo White. This one's 24 minutes long. This one I gave a 4 out of 10, no written review. Our next film is Burlesque on Carmen. This is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance. This was directed by Chaplin, 31 minutes long, and I gave this a 4 out of 10. I've put this down as, the period setting helps this humorous but standard silent comedy. That ends 1915, and we move on to 1916 with The Floorwalker. This is another Charlie Chaplin film with Edna Purviance. This one is a Mutual Film Corporation. He's moved studios, obviously. He's now with the Mutual Studios, and this is on the BFI's Mutual Comedies Blu-ray. So this is on the Blu-ray collection. I've given this a 5 out of 10. Special features on the Mutual Comedies include a short news extract of Chaplin signing the contract with Mutual. It's got 3 different music scores on this one by Carl Davis, one by Gabriel Thibodeau, and Antonio Coppola. Wow, so Antonio Coppola, who I believe did the music for Godfather, did the music as an alternate music for this one. I do find the music never really fits, and I wonder sometimes if the music impacts the comedy a little bit. Interesting about music in cinema, but I found out that my great-grandfather used to play violin for silent movies, so it wasn't just piano, he used to play violin for them. This has a commentary by Frank Sheed. This one I have given a 5 out of 10, and I have written down early use of an escalator in cinema and mirror gag made famous by the Marx Brothers. I've also written down that this isn't terrible, it's just many films have used the same gags many times since. So the next film is called Police, with exclamation mark. Charlie Chaplin and Edna Purviance. This is directed by Chaplin, 26 minutes long. This is an Essanay film. I've given this a 4 out of 10. and I've written down same old but an amusing ending at least. The next film is The Fireman, so we've gone from police to the fireman. This is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, 5 out of 10. This one has alternate music scores by Carl Davis, Robert Israel and Neil Brand. It has a commentary by Glenn Mitchell. I've written down better than most Chaplin films. It's better paced and written with quite a good building climb from Chaplin. Some funny reversing horses. The next film is The Vagabond with Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance. This is a 3 out of 10. My review for this film is there's much more emphasis on a plot and script, which results in a more polished film, an improvement from Chaplin's early films. So he's clearly learning, he clearly is picking things up and developing his style. So I'm now on to 1 a.m. This is a Charlie Chaplin film with Albert Austin and Charles Chaplin directed. 27 minutes long, still with Mutual, still on the same Blu-ray, 5 out of 10. My mini review for this is good comedy here, showcasing Chaplin's slapstick humour. It's very contrived, however, although likeable. My next film is The Count. This one's 25 minutes long. I've given it a 5 out of 10. My mini review says likeable and good comedy from Chaplin. Much better structure than his earlier films, and it is clear he is becoming a good director. The next film, still in 1916, The Pawn Shop. Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, 26 minutes long. This one is a 3 out of 10. My mini review says well set up by Chaplin, but so much comedy that has been seen many times since. We're still in 1916 with the next film, Behind the Screen. This is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell again, directed by Chaplin, 25 minutes long, and I've given this a 4 out of 10. My review is At a Film Studio, interesting, some good gags. Next film is called The Rink. This one is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell. This one is directed by Charles Chaplin. This one is 25 minutes long, and I've given this 4 out of 10. And my review of this is Chaplin on roller skates, amusing and well-timed. Next film is Charlie's White Elephant. This one's quite interesting. This is an animated short, and it's only 6 minutes long. From what I know, there were quite a few of these Chaplin animations released. This is also the oldest animation I've got in my Blu-ray DVD collection. This one is available on the Chaplin at Keystone box set by BFI. It's on disc 4 if you're interested. It's obviously as a special feature, but I've given it a 4 out of 10. I hope I've written... No. All I've written is interesting early animated film. So next we move on to 1917. So we're on Easy Street. This is Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell, Albert Austin is back, and Leo White is in this one, directed by Chaplin. 27 minutes long, and back to Mutual Films. Back on the Mutual Film Blu-rays. I've given this a 5 out of 10. And written a good Chaplin. Seeing Chaplin joining the police in a rough neighbourhood. Next up is The Cure, another Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell is in this one. A 5 out of 10 on my list, so 5 seems quite average at the moment. It does show it's improving, he's not getting as many 3s anymore, is he? And I've done, Chaplin has done revolving door jokes before, but has developed it more here. Some interesting stunts in this one, quite good. So the next film in the collection, still in 1917, is something a little bit different. This one is The Butcher Boy, and this is the earliest Buster Keaton film that I have on Blu-ray DVD. As you can see on the video, here is the collection it comes from. And this one is actually a Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle film. This was directed by Roscoe Arbuckle, and it is a 24-minute short film and released by Paramount Studios. This is available on the Buster Keaton The Complete Short Films Blu-ray. I believe this is another BFI film, and Here we go. I've given it a 6 out of 10. So, obviously, Fatty Arbuckle is a lot better than Chaplin in my opinion. My review I've written is Buster Keaton's first film is a Fatty Arbuckle film, and as such he plays second fiddle to the star. Arbuckle himself is amusing and helps make the film entertaining to watch. A good silent comedy. The next film is The Immigrant. We're back to Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell, Albert Austin, Charlie Chaplin directing. So we're jumping around now a little bit more. So in my film list, we're getting a bit more variety. This one is 4 out of 10. So Chaplin's not scored anything higher than a 5 yet. And this one, I've not written anything for it. Our next film is The Rough House. So still 1917, we're back with Fatty Arbuckle. This is Al St. John as a second main star, and Buster Keaton's directed by Fatty Arbuckle and Buster Keaton. 20 minutes long, Paramount Films. I've rated this one 5 out of 10, so this is his worst film so far, oh dear. I've written down enjoyable comedy from Fatty Arbuckle, noteworthy for the dancing bread rolls that Arbuckle performs before Chaplin did it. Next film is His Wedding Night. This one is another Fatty Arbuckle film with Al St. John and Buster Keaton appearing in this film. Directed by Arbuckle only. 20 minutes long with Paramount. I have given this one a 5 out of 10. I have written, nice to see Fatty and Buster working closer together and can see a partnership forming here. Particularly like Fatty throwing Buster by his head. Our next film is Oh Doctor, 1917, the 30th of September 1917. This is another Fatty Arbuckle film with Al St. John and Buster Keaton, directed by Arbuckle. This one's 24 minutes long. I've given this another 5 out of 10. And I've put an okay comedy from Arbuckle. Keaton plays his son. Next film is The Adventurer. This is another Chaplin film. Edna Purviance, Eric Campbell. We've got Albert Austin back in again. Phyllis Allen, directed by Chaplin. 26 minutes long. 5 out of 10. This one I've written, the ice cream down the mother's back is funny. Chaplin's comedy has evolved now, even though there are many occasions of people having their bottoms kicked. Next film is Coney Island by Fatty Arbuckle, Al St. John, Buster Keaton are in this one. Luke the dog, who appeared in a film previously, is in this one as well. Directed by Arbuckle, 25 minutes long for Paramount. 4 out of 10. I've just written down just okay comedy. Interesting to see old style theme park rides. Has a deleted ending that was cut for racial reasons. The scene actually features Fatty approaching the lady at the end of the film, and she turns around and she is a black lady, and this apparently scares Fatty Arbuckle away, and he runs away scared. This scene is included as an extra feature on the Buster Keaton Blu-ray collection. The next film is The Hobo. This one stars Billy West with Leo White, directed by somebody called Arvid E. Gilstrom. Now, why this one is in my collection? Because it is the first appearance of one Oliver Hardy, who would later join with Stan Laurel to become Laurel and Hardy. It's only 18 minutes long, and it is present on the Laurel and Hardy Collection, Volume 5. I gave this a 6 out of 10, which is good. So this is the first non-Fatty Arbuckle film that's got a 6 out of 10. I've written down Billy West's Chaplin impersonation is actually quite good. Some good comic timing from Oliver Hardy. Above average silent comedy. Next film is Out West, 1918. So we moved on a year. 1918 was a Fatty Arbuckle film with Al St. John and Buster Keaton. And Joe Keaton, Buster Keaton's brother, is in this one. Directed by Fatty Arbuckle, 20 minutes long, Paramount. This one has a 4 out of 10. And I've written some good comedy, but falls into the nothing really new side of silent comedies of the era. Nothing bad about it, just doesn't stand out. Moving on is The Bellboy by Fatty Arbuckle, Buster Keaton, Al St. John. This also has Joe Keaton in. Arbuckle directing, 26 minutes long, 4 out of 10. And I've written lots going on in this film. Arbuckle, St. John and Keaton work well together as staff at a hotel. Moonshine is next from 1918. Same cast as previous film, with Arbuckle directing again, 18 minutes long. I've given this a 3. Oh, not great comedy from Arbuckle and Keaton. Clearly his worst so far. And there's a special feature on this one, on the short films. This has a look at the restoration. Next film is called Good Night Nurse by Fatty Arbuckle, Buster Keaton, Al St. John. Arbuckle directing, 23 minutes long. This one is a 4 out of 10. And I've written Fatty goes to a mental hospital and tries to escape. Nothing really stands out here. Still not terrible. Next film is Triple Trouble, an Essanay collage by Charlie Chaplin, and it's starring Leo White, Edna Purviance. This is an Essanay produced film. This was directed by Charles Chaplin, and Leo White directed this one. This is on the Essanay Films collection again. I've given this a 2 out of 10. I've not written a comment. Next film is The Cook by Fatty Arbuckle, Buster Keaton, 20 minutes long, from Paramount Studios. I've given 5 out of 10. Quite a funny short and some nice sight gags, especially in the first half of the film, with Keaton serving the customers and Fatty preparing the food. The two are working well together. Next film is The Bond, Charlie Chaplin, Edna Purviance, Albert Austin. So we're back to Charlie Chaplin directing. This is 1918. I've given it a 4 out of 10. I've written a propaganda short advertising war bonds. It's a very simplistic film, but isn't too bad considering what it is. Moving on a year, so now we're all the way in 1919, and we've got a film called Hustling for Health. So we've got something else a little bit different here. This is Stan Laurel's earliest film in my collection. This has been released by Rolling Films, 15 minutes long. This is on Laurel and Hardy Collection Volume 1, and I've given this a 4 out of 10. And what I've put down here is some typically average comedy that has been used many times in silent comedy. Hosepipe gags, angry neighbours. The cast are good, but the film doesn't really go anywhere. Our next film, also 1919, is Sunnyside. It's a Chaplin film with Edna Purviance. Albert Austin is in this one, and Chaplin directed, 30 minutes. He's now with First National Pictures, so this one is on the Charlie Chaplin collection, and if you're interested, is on the Woman of Paris disc as a special feature. I've given this a 3 out of 10, that's not very good, and I've written boring Chaplin film with a few creative moments, such as the cows escaping. After that, it's quite a basic love story in silent comedy. And the special features include a deleted scene for this film. The next film is called Backstage, and we're back to Fatty Arbuckle, Buster Keaton and Al St. John. This is directed by Arbuckle, 21 minutes long, again, Paramount film. This one I've given a 6, and I've written down quite a good comedy, some very inventive comedy from Buster and Fatty. The end is a bit out of place, but does allow some teamwork between Fatty and Buster. The next film is The Hayseed, 1919, another Fatty Arbuckle film with Buster Keaton. Directed by Arbuckle, he's obviously directing his own films, 22 minutes long, and this one is a 4 out of 10. A good setting for a pretty standard silent comedy. My next film is A Day's Pleasure. This is a Charlie Chaplin film, starring Edna Purviance, Jackie Coogan. This is 18 minutes long. This is again an extra feature on the Charlie Chaplin collection. This one I've given a 6 out of 10. This is his best film so far. I've written quite a good Chaplin short as Charlie and his family take a boat journey with seasick passengers and bandsmen. Enjoyable and humorous. And that ends the 1910s of my movie collection. Please let me know below what you think of these films. Which ones have you seen? Which ones have you liked? Which ones do you not like? Are there any films you would like me to add to my collection? please let me know below. I would love to know if any suggestions you may have. So please like, subscribe and share the video with your friends, add notifications. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. I will say my usual of good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night wherever you are, whatever time it may be. And I will see you at the next video, which will be an overview of the 1910 collection that I have. And I will say thank you very much for watching and joy again.